Well, hello. It's howdy doody time. Hey, y'all.
Oh my
It's
God.
Thursday.
You
It's whatever comes out at the moment.
went way back on that one, but okay.
Way back, what is it? It was a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Won't you be my neighbor? We could go with that one. That's way back too, though. That's way back also. Anyway, it is Thursday, October the 17th. It's a little cool and breezy down here in Jacksonville. What you see, I got on a hoodie. I'm not a necessarily a hoodies fan because my hair doesn't like hoodies, but it's comfortable at this point. The temperature here is 60 degrees. I know in other places it's cooler, but let me be cool enough with my 60. Okay. 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 All right. I'm not going to be able to stay here. I won't be before you long, as they say, because I just was receiving a new class assignment, which, okay, all right. So I'm going to make some adjustments today so I can make sure that I'm here on the call. Jamie is quite, capable, quite capable. I just don't like to leave him here just managing it all by himself all the time because, people get a little antsy when you put stuff on them all the time. They're like, I'm the one carrying the load. And you're like, no, you're not carrying the load. He would never say those things, but I'm just,
For the
this is what,
record, I have never even
no.
hinted at anything of such.
No, these are the conversations in my head. Okay, the
Okay.
conversations that are in my head. Okay, it's not anything that he has ever said, but I'm just saying these are
Ever.
the things I would think. Yes.
Not a
Good,
once.
never. I know. Hey Ward. Hey Tanya. Hey Marsha. Hey Raymond. How you doing? Um, Raymond says 46 here in Texas. No, sir. What part of Texas? I've been to Houston. I've been to Houston. I think that's where I've been. I think I'd like to go to Dallas. I haven't been there yet, though. I think I'd like to go to Dallas. Hey, Janae,
I
how you doing?
was I was very surprised. So right now it's 42 in Wisconsin.
Oh yeah,
And
no.
and I was very surprised when I visited El Paso, Texas, that it was as cold there as it was in Wisconsin.
Mm-mm, I'm
That
out.
threw me off.
All of that, I'm out.
That
I
threw
don't
me
like it
off.
cold at all. I don't mind a little cool, but I don't like it cold.
Yeah.
Mm-mm. Not interested. Not at all interested. Not me. Okay. Uh, all right. So, Jamie, you can take it away.
DC, whoop whoop. Why you all in my ear? We got DJIA is up. Actually, our indexes are all up right now. The VIX is down slightly, 0.61%. Europe is all up. European markets rally as ECB cuts rates for the third time this year, but Nokia shares are down. For Asia, ASX 200 is the only one that is up 0.86%. China property stocks dropped nearly 8% after housing ministry briefing. That is what is going down. Let's look at earnings for this morning. TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor, reported this morning. You may have seen some movement from this morning. Travelers, Huntington, Elevance Health, the Blackstone Group. Please put the Blackstone Group on in your purview. Whenever you see them, that's when you know some money is moving hands when they're the holders of something.
Okay.
Infosys, Texas Capital, M&T Bank, Instill Industries, and Commercial Metals reported before the open. After close today is Netflix. That's the main hit,
Netflix.
heavy hitter over there. After close today, so you want to be paying attention to that. Not to say the rest of these are not important, but we are still having banks that are stepping up for after close today and before open tomorrow. So we had Discover, I believe, was earlier this week on Wednesday. So it's quote unquote competitor. Who was that? American Express. They are reporting tomorrow before the open. So that is happening as well. So we got plenty of banks still stepping in. And again, you can see the full list on Yahoo finance.yahoo.com. They have the full list calendar. We just go by the earnings whispers because it is more concise for our needs. For today, Forex Factory. We had red folders starting this morning at 8:30. The core retail sales came in better than actual forecast. Retail sales, that was for core retail sales month over month. The retail sales month over month was better than forecast. Unemployment claims was neutral. All right. All three of those were red folders. Philly Fed Manufacturing Index was better than forecast, as that's an orange folder. We had at 9:15 the capacity utilization rate and the industrial production month over month. Both of them were lower than forecast or not as good as forecast. For some yellow folders, 10 o'clock business inventories month over month and the NAHB housing market index, both yellow folders, along with 10:30 the natural gas storage. 11 o'clock, we do have an orange folder for crude oil inventories, which means on the investing.com side, we're going to see that list. So that's 11 o'clock. Yellow folder, FOMC member Goolsby is speaking. Yellow folder, Treasury Secretary Yellen is speaking. That's tentative, but it is an orange folder. So there's no specific time for that. And then the tick long-term purchase at 4 o'clock, when we are good and safe and out of the market, right? So here's what we got here. This is basically exactly what we were just talking about in here with some more details that are sprinkled in. We had some 2 and 3 stars according to investing.com. All right, for the continuing jobless claims, did really well for 2 stars. The core retail sales month over month for September. The initial jobless claims was neutral, and the jobless claims 4-week average was neutral as well. Neutral meaning neutral impact. The initial jobless claims over here is 3 stars. The Philadelphia Fed Manufacturing Index for October is 3 stars, and that was better than projected. 1 star for the Philly Fed business conditions. That was neutral. Matter of fact, all of these were neutral around that 8:30 time frame. For the Philly Fed, it was the business conditions, their capex index. The Philly Fed employment was 2 stars. The Philly Fed new orders these were all for October was 1 star, as well as the Philly Fed prices paid for October. 2 stars for the retail control month over month for September. These were all neutral impact, as well as the retail sales year over year for September, which was 1 star. So by the time we get to some type of impact, that's the retail sales month over month for September, which was 3 stars, and that was better than projected. We got our retail sales excluding gas and auto month over month for September, neutral impact, 1 star. Then it kind of started getting a little ugly around 9:15 because we had 1 star capacity utilization rate for September, a little bit lower than what was projected. That was 1 star, 2 stars for the industrial production year over year for September, but that was neutral. But then we got another 2 stars for industrial production month over month for September, lower, or shall I say higher than projected. 1 star for the manufacturing production month over month for September, also higher than projected. So that stuff makes a difference, man, believe it or not, as far as I'm concerned. But retail inventories excluding auto for August, that is coming up in 6 minutes, along with the NAHB housing market index and the business inventories month over month for August. NAHB is going to be for October. Then in 36 minutes, we got the natural gas storage. 11 o'clock is crude oil inventories, 3 stars. And this is the list that I was referring to that usually shows up on investing.com for the EIA refinery crude runs week over week. Crude oil imports, this is all at 11 o'clock. Cushing crude oil inventories, which is 2 stars. Distillate fuel production, EIA weekly distillate stocks. Gasoline production, heating oil stockpiles, and the EIA weekly refinery utilization rates week over week. We also got Goolsby, of course, speaking, which is 1 star. Gasoline inventories, the 4-week and the 8-week bill auction, all 1 stars. And then at noon, Atlanta Fed GDP now Q3. That should sound familiar because that pops up. 2 stars at 2 o'clock for the federal budget balance for September. And then we're out the market. The U.S. foreign buying T-bonds for August is 1 star. The overall net capacity flow for August, 1 star. The tick net long-term transactions for August is 2 stars over here, as well as the tick net long-term transactions, including swaps for August, 1 star. Fed's balance sheet, 2 star. That's at 4:30, and at 4:30 is the reserve balances with Federal Reserve banks. We got a whole bunch of bank related, oil related. It's a lot sprinkled through there. 2 and 3
Related.
stars. So I would highly suggest, taking a peek over at these before you decide to enter, depending on what you are trading, just to be on the safe side. I will also suggest taking a look and keeping up with what's going on with the VIX, just to be on the safe side as well. It is down 1.12% as of right now. And Alyssa, did you want to do something before you have to go?
Not really. You're doing fine.
Okay, so let's take a look at.
The only thing I would mention is that Chart Your Way, chart and trade. Chart and trade is now up to $65. So if you are considering you're coming, I'm coming, I'm coming, I'm coming, you might want to come on, Cletus, because every time somebody else registers for chart and trade, it goes up by another dollar, right? It goes up by another dollar. So go
$1.
ahead. I did send, I put out in my social medias, chart your way to 100K.com. I did put out in my social medias a video of what is chart and trade. It's less than 2 minutes. I put that out. So if you're just wondering, what is this she talking about? What's going on? Go ahead and watch the less than 2 minute video. And it'll tell you exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Okay.
All righty. These are our Mancini numbers. It's been an incredible leg up in SPX, and we've already tagged 2 targets since my 8 a.m. post. 58.54 first hit, then 58.63 was the second hit. Be sure to protect those profits and just let a runner work. 58.70 to 73 is next, then 58.91. 58.54 is weak. 58.42 through 47 is support now. We dip only below 58.42. So let's do that. We dip only below 58.42. All right, let's get the working. 58.42. Oh, I got that on the list already. Great. All right. Gonna remove these here. And we're going to our first 15-minute candle is right here for today. Boom and boom. Right? Has not broken out. It gapped up. This morning, it being SPX, we are looking at SPX on the 15-minute chart. And this was a buyer's gap. Price pushed up. Right there. All right. So as of right now, nothing has happened. This is what went down yesterday. Actually, this is what went down yesterday right here. There was not much movement between close of yesterday and open today. And then this decided to move on up like the Jeffersons. This is for Janae. She needs to see the Mancini numbers. Oh, XSP is 589. for the CCS and 584 for the PCS. Just so you are aware, this graphic is, I believe it's already in our group, in the Telegram group. Ready? I'm gonna close these. Boom, 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 boom. All right. Here's what we got going on. Kind of stuck right there, doing its thing. No harm, no foul. This is what Russell is currently looking like. We'll go boom and a boom for its. Matter of fact, we'll go. Just gonna create an alert so we'll know. Whoops! When this breaks out, create alert. Bearish. All right. So we got that in there. Now, what was interesting about yesterday is Russell being different, acted different from SPX because it actually gapped up and decided to push its way on up for the small cap win on yesterday. And I say win just because it stayed up once it got to moving. This looks like a formation with this pole. What is that? Triple top? No, is it triple top? Yeah, like that could be triple top. One of those two. That's what that looks like. This is on the 15-minute chart for Russell. That's what that looks like. It's kind of bouncing there. It's in a little bit of a channel, doing its thing. All right. So, Janae, are you saying you didn't see the? Let me rescue this child. Yeah, it's in the group, Janae. Wait. I'm saying that, but let me make sure for. Yes, I'm looking in. I'm gonna put this in the Telegram group right now. It's in the Telegram group right now, Janae. All right, the Mancini numbers. All right, so Russell not broken out yet. SPX is not broken out yet. And then those amongst us who are fans of SPY. Look at SPY on the daily. It has decided. Now we are at highs, so don't forget. Not only are we at highs on SPY, but it is breaking past. The last high is creating a new high right now. So that is something to keep in mind if you are talking about trading SPY. Now, the numbers that we gave for Mancini was for XSP. Normally, we'll do SPY, or many times we'll do SPY. We'll do SXP, right? Yeah, normally we'll do XSP. Sometimes people will request SPY. Excuse me. So that is the gap that I am marking for SPY. So as usual, always be careful when something is at highs like this, because it is still looking for its seller area, if you will. So that could be some of anything happening that could cause a turn, right? You're very welcome, Janae. Right? So that's what we got going on for right now. I see 2 areas here where we can mark where prices kind of came back down or made a turn at some point on SPY. We're very early in the market though. So to make any jumping in decisions, I wouldn't do it right just yet. But we are at highs right now. Anybody have any tickers that they won't looked at? I know that here's what's going on with NVIDIA. NVIDIA also gapped up. And when it gapped up, what it did was gapped up right here. So we can still consider this in a seller zone. Some people would say because that wick has went through there, that seller zone is no good. It all just kind of depends on how you look at it, I guess. But either way, I'll mark this as being these dots, meaning it's in this zone right now, or at least close to it. But NVIDIA is at highs right now. Either way. So it gapped up a little bit, and it is at highs. Okay. Highs meaning 140.89 is the high point, and we're at 138.77. So we are right there. The dotted green circles are lined at price. So that's going to move with the price. All right. Oops. So I'm always skeptical about NVIDIA, especially when it's at all-time highs, because it has a tendency to break through its call credit spreads. At least that's been my experience. So I would only be considering put credit spread, which may or may not make a difference depending on what's happening for the rest of the day. But for one spread, that's 15 cents. So if I was looking at this, 15% on $100, so $15 on $100, somewhere in there, wouldn't be a bad idea. But that's for Friday expiration that I will be looking at for that. Not investment advice. Just looking. All right. I see Pepsi. And I see a gap for Pepsi. Pepsi, the choice of a new, was that Pepsi or Coke? I think Pepsi was the choice of a new generation. All right. Now, I will say what Pepsi did that I thought was just smart is that they went bigger than just the sodas, man. They own so many snacks. It is ridiculous. That was just a smart move. Coke is mostly still soft drinks or drinks in general, but Pepsi, it's like, nah, we gonna go ahead and go bigger than that. That was a very wise move on their part. This is a cheer formation that we're looking at. Then we'll take a look at the options chain. There's a couple ways, I guess, to chart this. What I see right now is leg in, base, leg out. And then over here, leg in, base, leg out. That's the way it looks for PepsiCo. So for me, these the zones are like right directly on top of each other. If somebody did not want to do that one, I would also be looking down here for this. At this, I probably would do something like this. Something like that. Be more comfortable with that. Pepsi is, because it's one of those blue chips, I put them in the blue chip category. It's probably not going to do a whole lot of moving, lower ATR, possibly. So that would be something to keep in mind. But I did notice that in this area, in this 178 area, that there's some rejection from sellers. So that might be something that can be used to somebody's benefit. If I was looking to get in this, of course, for tomorrow, I don't see any premiums for the 18th. I'll have to look at next week. I don't see any premiums for next week. See here. I don't see any premiums for them for about 3 weeks. So I'll be looking at 180 if that was me. It's a 2.5 spread, 34 cents. So that's more than 10% return on collateral in that situation. So that's how I'll be looking at that. So what do we say? 180 puts this up here. It is pushing up a tad bit, but there's some sellers there. And there's this. You have this as resistance, and then you have a seller zone as resistance. And you may even be able to use this as a seller zone as well. So I don't know what the strikes are for the person who was asking, but I will say that this gap is being respected right here. So it is bouncing off there for right now. So that's something I would keep in mind when looking at Pepsi. Right? Sorry, I didn't see the T-Mobile. T-Mobile was at highs as well. This is serious right here. So I'll put them in the same situation. It needs to find its seller zone, if you will. So what I do see is a gap here. That was a buyer's gap. And then, so I do see that. which would give a couple different ways to possibly chart in here. But there's a lot of it's good that this is going up, but the way it's moving, it's not exactly great for finding the zone, if you will, or at least one that I would say is a comfortable zone. And you definitely don't want to have to try to force anything. But I don't think this is a cheer formation right here, for example. Actually, style line. Oh crap! So there's something going on right here. Sorry, you guys can't see that. I gotta. So I see that right there is the only thing I really see this far down. So something's going on in this area. So I guess maybe that would be considered the cheer. All right. We can make it happen. So let's say if we went just to give us a reference point. That means that we do not have a seller zone up here quite yet. So if we were going for, I'm looking at next Friday. I'll be looking at a put the credit spread myself about 210. It's 82% out the money. 26 cents, which is $26 on collateral. I'll be collecting about 10%, over 10% on that $250 collateral right there. I would definitely be watching this though, because of the fact that it is moving up and that it is at its high. It has been running up for a while. It's bound to get tired, quote unquote tired, and do some type of pullback. How far back it pulls, of course, is, can be predicted, but I would definitely be watching it for that, especially if there's any of the competitors that are stepping in there going to be doing their earnings. That might be something to watch for sure. But if it was me, I would be 10. So 210 puts me about right here. So I'm under this small gap. I'm under this seller zone or whatever the situation is. So I would have a buffer in this situation. So that's how I'll be looking at that. For those who use Fibonacci retracement, and would use this one as a target. This has went above. I will be watching to see for 217.63. I will be watching to see if it comes back and retests and continues up, or if it starts heading back down. So I'll look at that for T-Mobile. The good thing about T-Mobile and is that it's not doesn't have the reputation of being volatile. How do I know that? Because even when I'm looking at just the daily version of this chart, you don't see like any crazy gaps. You see some gaps, but you don't see what we would see if we were looking at Tesla. And chances are some of these gaps is probably tied to earnings. So I would feel more comfortable getting in that trade, but I would not be trading above current price. That is just me. Right? We're gonna do crowd. Oh, let's take a look at SPX. See if anything juicy happened. It did break down, trying to push his way into this gap. All right. So that is happening. It is trying to do its thing. Let's see what happened with Russ. Ooh, Russell broke out. Okay. Russell finally broke out. Busting out. Just busting out on the funk. All right. So let's see here. Got. Take a look, see how this looks real quick. This is Russell. Here we go. We'll go with that. I don't even remember the alert coming up to tell me that it had made a move. Well, that's fine too. All right, so crowd, CRWD. See what crowd is talking about. This is a nice little seller zone. Now remember, this is still trying to break past a recent high. What it's trying to work its way through. Now, CrowdStrike, as y'all know, well, you may not know, CrowdStrike is tied to that whole outage situation. If you recall, a while back, and it caused a bit of consternation, to say the least. There was some, they still on their apology tour, if you will. Since this broke out, I am looking at the PDT hack. So that is what I am implementing. This is 2290. I have to buy 2290. All right. Move along our day. Okay, so this line right here, this dash, is to represent a parity line. This was resistance before, it broke through, and now it's support. This is another one that would qualify for that, but it's also a place where price turned around. So I just want to make sure that that is being acknowledged. Right? A buyer zone on this chart is not as clear, and I do not believe in forcing it. If I was looking at anything, it would be something in here, but this looks more like a momentum. This looks more momentum than it does anything else, but let's put something. So this is the area, and this is more so not really, I really wouldn't consider that a cheer formation. And so just leave it alone. Leave it alone. All right. But what I would do in this situation is look at it on the weekly and see what you got. On the weekly, I will have a little bit better formation, a little bit clearer. You can do leg in, 2 in the base, leg out right here for the buyer zone. It just so happens that I have these dashes in there, but so that could be done for the weekly. Retest it on this line, and then you could always go up here and do leg in, base, leg out. There's a lot that could be done up here. Let's just be honest. But until this finishes on this side, and there's a nice buyer zone down here as well on the weekly. So I kind of like the stronger formations here. So I'll be looking at those. And also, I'm pretty sure that some people would do leg in, 1 in the base, leg out. I've seen it done that way as well. I don't knock it. I just feel more comfortable with the stronger formations in this case. So I'm more prone to have it like that. And I will have 2 zones lined up for the weekly. And we can do the same thing up here. Doing that wrong. Yeah, I'll just put this on the weekly chart. I would have it looking like that. Still look at crowd. Actually, this is what it looks like. If you notice, it's still retesting. It's still bouncing, but the weekly is stronger zones. So even though we're looking at it on the daily, we're seeing where it bounced around for the weekly. So we still got a seller zone right there. So that's still legit. So either way, the important thing is knowing where these buyers and these sellers are. And so since this is crowd, well, tomorrow, may or may not be any good premiums for tomorrow, but let's just say for a 2.5 spread, 36 cents. This is 302. And we're looking at this on the weekly, so let me switch this to the daily. 302. Looking like in here for a reference point. All right. And this is 86. 302 is 80% out of the money. 302.5 is 80% out of the money. All right. So if you want to go there, that would be a place to look. Depending on what it is that you're trying to do. All right. So I will look at that. And don't forget, in this situation, even if you went up here, let's say on the daily, or actually, that's on the weekly, go weekly. If this is leg in, 2 in the base, leg out. And we went above, you could also go above it to take the above and below. So iron condor would be possible as well. In this situation, I went below down here, but seems to be room at the top. So I will be looking at probably 84% out the money, 84% out the money right there. That's still over 10% return on collateral for 27 cents or $27. 10%. Yeah, it's 10%. So I'll be looking at that. I'm in my sim, y'all, so don't be thinking I'm like Thinking I'm like in my
Listen, you can spend your money how you want to.
thinking I'm in my live account, doing all this. All right, PLTR, Palantir, Palantir, who I don't really know what they do, but everybody hyping them up, so they just do data. All right.
They do government work.
Yeah, everybody say that, but nobody can be specific. Government work with data. That's what everybody say. That's basically saying you ain't got no job, Tommy, is what they sound like. Tommy ain't got no job. All right. I would do leg in, two in the base, leg out here. And then up here, something like that. Please be advised that this $40.29 area got a nice strong reaction on the buyer side. That is something to keep in mind. This is not a 3-to-1, by the way, but we will keep it moving. Tamar said I'm balling. Don't hide it. Lady T said I'm sim rich. You sim rich? That's right. Sim rich. We stacking paper in the sim. I'm a sim millionaire, honey. Yeah, I better believe it. All right. For tomorrow's expiration, there would be no money on Palantir. You can hang that up. Probably you might have to go out 2 weeks to see any type of coin on these jokers. Now you can. This is a 50-cent spread right here at 80% out the money, but you could make that a one spread. 39.5, 38.5. That's one. So that'll be one spread, $100 collateral. 12 cents is $12 collected on that. So that wouldn't be a bad idea if I'm looking at it from that perspective. 39.5, 39.5. Put you in here in this buyer zone. 39.5 is right there. There's no reason why this could not be considered for Iron Condor. The singing mathematician needs to come up with a song for Iron Condors. We do enough of them. I think they should have their own song. The singing mathematician is you, by the way. just in case you didn't know who we talking about. We talking about
Yeah, I
you.
think I know who we're talking about.
Okay, just check it. To be on the
Just in
safe
case.
side. 44.5 at the top up here. Right? This is pushing down, sitting right there in the middle. Palantir does not have I don't know. Palantir, I never really considered them volatile, but I haven't really checked their chart, so I can't say that. It could be though, but I will start off with that bottom version first. All right. All righty. So possible Iron Condor, but I will be looking at that put credit spread. But keeping an eye right here for these buyers. Is this Berkshire? Looks like Berkshire is our last one. Berkshire. Dun, dun, dun. That dude is the modern day Solomon. I don't care what nobody says. Warren Buffett. That dude. So this is SPX. SPX tried to do its breakout, but it did not work. It did not work. It could not break out. Russell did, on the other hand. It's breaking out. It made it. It made it. All right. BRK, Berkshire Hathaway. That's right. We need B. Berkshire Hathaway B, because Berkshire Hathaway A, you cannot afford it. Even on credit spreads, fam, you can't. It don't work that way. Warren said you're going to have to put in a lot of work to get these hemp shares on this Berkshire A, fam. So this is what I'm seeing for the seller zone for the Berkshire. This kind of made its own buyer zone right here, really. Right about here. I would have put something like that. Let's switch these up. All right, we're gonna switch over to the options chain. See what we got. The Oracle of Omaha. That's what they call him. The Oracle of Omaha. It's Warren Buffett. All right, leg in. I got 3 in the base, leg out for the buyer zone. Looks like the sellers are trying to put the smack down on it. And then leg in, base, leg out right here for the seller zone. And let's see what the options chain is saying unto us on today. Amen. Amen. All right. We went 456, 79% out the money. We could do that on a 2.5 spread. Yeah, I would look at that. That's 32 cents. That's more than 10% collected on a 2.5 spread. That will put us 57.5. Right about there. 457.5 is in this area. I would feel comfortable going above it as well. 80% of the money at 475. Yes, up here. What do you think about that, Miss Mathematician? $475 for Berkshire at the top. I know, Janae, don't I? I know, right? It's not some people, right? All right, so we at the bottom here for the book credit spread. Then at the top, we can do, it's so much air up here. I will be okay if tomorrow is our expiration. Go sledgehammer. Right. This is the 2.5 spread, so I don't be messing around with that. I'd rather just hold off. We gonna run on and see what the end gonna be on that one. So we're gonna see if this is gonna work with the 33 cents. We'll see how it works. All right. That is what I'm seeing for those in terms of the chart. Just remember on this one, I should have checked to see if they had earnings too. Just remember that if you do Berkshire Hathaway above, so your call credit spreads over 472.5 is all 5 spreads up here for next week's expiration. And you got 2.5 spreads down here. Obviously, you can make it a 5 spread for your PCS, but just be aware that there's 2 different versions. All right. Okay, okay. So we're gonna do our last little pass through rut. Then we're gonna turn it over. All right, we still keep an eye on this. Russell is still pushing down. Let's see if SPX finally did his thing. Uh, All right, SPX. Still nothing. Look like it might be trying now, but holy goodness. All right. Okie dokie. Miss Arlissa, we've covered what we need to cover for today.
All right. What Janae said, JB be so happy charting. He just like,
No.
oop doo doo. I'm in my element. Yeah.
They're tossing up rainbow and glitter and all kind of candy and cake. Like, what is going on with this dude?
I'm just having a good time. I'm just having a
Dude.
good time. Yeah.
That is
Yes,
funny.
sir. Well, good. I like that you could get in your zone and make it do what it do. I like that for you. Okay. So if we've covered everything we needed to cover, I guess we can. I don't even have the, as you call it, the benediction. Um, don't even have it up. We can just declare ourselves as good traders,
Oh,
consistent traders.
you need it up?
And if you know, do you need it up?
Pull it up, man. What do you need?
There we go. I'm a successful trader. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I make smart and lucrative decisions for my portfolios. Money likes me because money is comfortable around me. It is drawn to me. We took that out of our other one, our new one. I need to update it again anyway. Lord, give us wisdom and knowledge for our trades today. Help us to make smart and lucrative decisions for our portfolios. This is good. Quick and to the point. And yet there is room. Yes, and yet there is room. Okay, so we do have, if you're an alerts getter, you can check your alerts on Peakbot. Turns out that Peakbot does have a zero DTE setup or a bot going. It's going with some another influencer that they have who has a mastermind or something like that. So I'm still investigating, getting more information so I can find out what's up. But it looks like SOXL lock switches over. But I think today though, when they give us this list today, it's for next Friday expiration. So it's not for tomorrow. So if you're looking for trades for tomorrow, this list isn't necessarily the place. The strikes won't be for tomorrow. They will be for next week. You can still use it for ideas, but you should probably look for different strikes. All right. But kind of you all have an idea of the things that you're trading on from Thursday to Friday, or you're already in stuff that now you're just closing up for tomorrow. Uber, I meant to look at Uber. Uber had some news that happened overnight. Didn't they have some stuff that happened yesterday? Did y'all look at Uber this morning, Jamie?
No, I didn't hear anything about them.
I think Uber had some news. I know they gapped down this morning because they popped up on my gap down scanner. Let me switch over there real quick and see if we can see anything of interest. Uber has pretty decent premiums. Today says see how Netflix act up during earnings. Well, you know Netflix. Oh,
Oh,
you got
wow.
Uber on the screen. Yeah, Uber had a. Ooh, and it's coming right back into the gap. Yep, that's what we do. Once you get below that,
Wow.
is that a daily? Oh, it's in the gap.
This is daily, yeah.
Hmm.
I remember I remember marking this chair a while back, as a matter of fact. So yeah, it's basically caught in between two gaps, really.
Hmm.
Stuck in the
Torn
middle. Yeah, yeah.
between two gaps.
Yep.
Two different songs. I went with torn between two gaps, and you went with stuck in the middle.
Yeah, yeah.
Looks like Triple Q is trying to fill its gap up from this morning as well.
Yeah, Uber gap down a little bit. There's a
Um,
chair sitting right there.
yeah, once Uber gets below it
So
gap
what
down,
happened with
right? Yeah.
yeah, what happened with Uber? Because they've been doing some partnerships that was supposed to be
Yeah, and I think this news that today's news came about with a partnership. They were trying to partner with, I want to say Expedia. And that's I don't surprised that people probably were surprised that they gapped down off that news.
yeah. But you know what though? The thing is, I always say this about earnings that is kind of irritating because it happens so much. You can smash earnings, but if your forward guidance is not what they want,
True.
that could
True.
cause that seems to be causing some of the problems too. So you can, no
Mhm.
matter how well you do for earnings,
Mhm.
your forward guidance can be a problem. So
Mhm. Yeah,
uh
so earnings is not just that how you earned in the past, but what are your thoughts or plans for the future?
yeah,
And your people who are investors are looking not just to see how you've performed, because you can kind of see how you performed. They really want to know how or what do you plan to keep doing?
yeah. Because they were saying that it's
Mhm.
the same thing about Nvidia for a minute. Oh, how is Nvidia going to keep the demand up for their chips? Because everybody going to keep asking for them. That's how.
Well, yeah.
They're the
And
only
you think is
ones in
how
the
are they
game
gonna
doing
keep
it.
it for them versus other people? Because I guess you can't get them but so many places anyway, so
Yeah, they got a product that is going. Then you can't build a factory fast enough to get ready to compete with these guys.
yeah, no.
But if their guidance is lower, even Nvidia, then that could cause a problem. So
Mm,
yeah. So you wanted to
AT&T is
see
calling on
what with
you.
Uber?
I was just wanting to see what the gap was looking like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's sitting right in between there. I don't know it well enough, but I will say you got a little bit of room to run, and that's it.
Yeah, I was trying to see what it was gonna do to come back and try to fill the gap. And it looks like it has a little bit of a ways to climb before it can get back to filling it. But it's starting. It's got the big, if you look on the 15-minute chart, you can see that it's got wicking happening on the top and the bottom, but it looks like it's climbing.
Yeah, to do his thing.
Hmm. See what kind of premiums Uber would want. We probably would go with next week, put credit spread for next week, the 25th, or maybe next week would be sufficient. But if you're looking at like 76, 77, that's down below this wick, even below the 79.50 wick. 76 has a 80%, 77 has a 74% probability out of the money. And if you went with Ubed for, I know y'all can't see what I'm looking at, but 77 is paying $20 a put credit spread.
77 is yeah. Y'all know I went to a lower strike.
Why lower? Well, okay, 76.
76, 75.
Okay, well, got you. Listen, I'm
Miss
not gonna
Miss
bother
Papa
nobody.
Wheelie Froggy.
Not gonna bother nobody on what they do. The 30 delta actually is 78, so that would really be the better spot even. 78 is paying. Mm,
78.
yep, that's a 30 delta.
On
78 is
what
paying
chart you looking at?
$29. I'm saying I'm looking at the probability out of the money. I'm looking at the delta on the option chain. Next week, you're on next week. Uber
20
78 should have a 30
25th.
something delta.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's paying $29.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and let you have that one, boss. All you. All you.
All righty.
It's all you.
Okay, everybody. You all, I want y'all to stay green and let's get this money.
All
Okay.
of this money.
Let's do
Hasta
that. All right.
mañana, mi
Hasta
amigos.
mañana. See y'all in the market. See you in the Telegram. For the people who are in the membership, we'll see you all this evening for our training. All right. Talk later, everybody. Goodbye.